Which was the other class that you guys took? I know you took the cross-cultural management. What was the other course that you
International business.
And you took international business as well?
Yeah, same class as well.
Yeah.
And what did you think about the contrast of the two classes? One being a culture course, but the other being an international business course. Did it combine well?
Yeah, I think they did a good well of. I really like it when classes are kind of integrated. So some of the same topics we're learning in cross-cultural communication class also kind of came up in international business because when you're working with companies across borders, you do need to be culturally aware. So it was a good balance between the two classes.
Yeah, I actually thought they tied really well together because the focus of international business was how businesses run in different places, and cross-cultural communication is obviously a very huge aspect of how businesses are run and how the products and how the companies communicate their needs and their products that they sell to the market. So to me, the whole thing was really tied together, which was kind of neat. And it was random for me because I didn't pick them thinking that initially, but it just ended up being that way.
It was also nice because I think one class, like the cross-cultural communications, was more of a soft, kind of what I call a soft skill, more touchy-feely kind of, and then the international business was more of a hard skill. We're talking about like deployment strategies and reading about case studies and things like that. So that was also seemed to be a good balance.
Yeah, the first time I took cross-cultural communications course during my MBA, I thought I don't need this. I've traveled the world. Was there anything that surprised you during the course that you said?
A lot of the class discussion that the professor actually started was to get perspective on different people, how different businesses are run, or just how things run in general in those countries. You know, things like is it in Brazil that you have to vote?
Yeah, exactly.
And if you don't
vote, it's a requirement,
vote,
yeah.
It's a requirement for every single person to vote.
And so to me, it's like all these little tidbits of information that I've now learned that I can't wait to like spew out to everyone because it's really neat. And you think, I mean, having been somewhat well-read, you would know that, but I had no idea that that's how things were done there.
And having that diversity in the group really kind of facilitated that. So there's a lot of discussion in these classes, and just to hear like different people from different countries kind of giving their perspective. It's hard to say exactly what I learned, but it's like there's all these like little things here and there that you kind of pick up, like she mentioned.
Now we visited Barcelona, we visited Paris, we went to Switzerland, Italy, and now we're in Venice. Tell me, where did you visit? Was your favorite? What did you?
Right here.
Yeah.
I think I found my home in Venice. I mean, it's incredible. You hear that there's no roads and there's boats and the culture, but to me, this was the city that surprised me most. I had a different image of it, or my image was not to the extent of the intensity of the city itself. I mean, not only is it beautiful, but everything is run completely different. And I mean, we're sitting on the Grand Canal here with water taxis being used instead of cars.
And only about a week ago we were skiing.
Exactly.
Do you feel the contrast?
I was 3 feet in deep in snow, Not on purpose.
She still has the bruises to prove it.
Exactly.
Yeah, Venice is my favorite as well. I mean, it's for all the reasons that Samaya mentioned, but it's also a small, like, very manageable city. I mean, it's the cobblestone walkways, the beautiful bridges and waterways. It's you can spend a few days and feel pretty confident that you got a good good handle on the city. Whereas something like Paris is just so massive, you can only see kind of a few sites, and you really need to play the role of a tourist, right? You can't go to Paris without going to the Louvre and without
How you get the side trips from Paris? Tell me, where did you go and why did you choose those places?
So I've always wanted to go to Belgium. I've never had a chance to do that. And so when I was in Paris, we had a free weekend, so I took a chance to go to Bruges, which is actually pretty similar to Venice. It's a small kind of historic city with cobblestone roads and waterways. My main activities there included eating waffles, which were incredible, lots of chocolate, and then of course the Belgian beers. So it was nice to have the flexibility to kind of, because I had been to a lot of places that the program was planning on going to, so it's nice to have the 2 free weekends to kind of do what we wanted. So my first weekend was Bruges, and my second weekend was just skiing in the Swiss Alps.
When I actually went to Istanbul, Turkey, and this program is 4 weeks. And
from Paris, right?
From Paris, actually, yeah. I flew down there the day after New Year's, which I wouldn't really recommend, but it was worth it. And unfortunately, I couldn't make it for the 4-week program because I had to go back to work, and Turkey was one of the places that the program was visiting. So I just decided to do that on my own. And just flew down there on Friday and came up Monday, and it's nice to have the flexibility to be able to do that. I really wanted to see that because it was a whole different culture that I wanted to expose myself to and was really interested in doing that. And so it was really disappointed when I couldn't do it with the program. And
so having a few days off, whether it was in the mountains or in Paris, gave you kind of a chance to clear your mind of classes and see some touristic sites, and I think in the mountains we had a chance to ski and snowboard and
Right.
Sled.
Or
try to sled.
try to sled. Try to stay as close to the ground as possible.
what did you learn about the Swiss that you found that you didn't know? In Switzerland, was there anything about the Swiss that surprised you?
They're so polite. I mean, when we cross the streets, sometimes people literally roll down the windows and ask us, are you planning on crossing the street, or should I drive in front of you?
Right.
You know, that doesn't happen in DC or New York. They'll run you over if you're in the wrong place.
And then little things like there's a very, what I call like almost like a German mentality. Like, you know, Swiss is composed, the language is what, Germany, French, and Italian, and then Roman, what's that fourth one?
Romanesque or something.
but the area that we're in was very German. Like even with some of the food and just the mentalities, it's kind of interesting. It's interesting to, like, once you become a little more culturally aware, to, like, you know, we have a group of 40 people, and when you get into a hotel, you know, the Interlaken Hotel, everything was really organized. There was a person assigned to us telling everyone where to go, had to hold the whole spreadsheet. You know, you come someplace like Italy, it's kind of a big mess.
Talking about the group size, I know you're an independent traveler. You've always kind of taken pride in going off on your own and backpacking. You must have been a little bit afraid to join a group of 35, 40 students. How was the experience of traveling with a group?
That was my biggest apprehension. Is I've traveled almost always on my own, if not with one other person. So I was terrified of traveling with 30 some people. But it actually worked out really well. I mean, into the schedule, there's built a lot of flexibility. You have your class periods, but then, you know, maybe you have class from 9 to 12, and then you have the rest of the day to kind of go off and do what you want. So, you know, sometimes I'd go off on my own, or sometimes I'd like partner up with one or two, or you know, sometimes even 20 other people to do something. So it wasn't overly scheduled. You know, you had your class periods. Besides that, it's kind of like, you know, do what you want to do. So it worked out much better than I thought it would.
That's good. That's good. All right, well, I think that about sums up our day here on congratulations again on your graduation and finishing the class at Forum-Nexus.
Thank you.
And tonight we're going to have a celebration party to wish you the best. So thanks for spending the time here.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Go Forum-Nexus.